for being here tonight.
Good to be with you.
Emily, you know Jackie, the woman profiled in the Rolling Stone article. Were you surprised when she told you what happened to her?
I was. It is clearly the most extreme story that I had ever heard. But what was more shocking to me is that none of her friends had ever told her that it wasn't her fault or kind of straight up believed her.
Emily, you were also a victim of sexual assault. What kind of pressures did you face afterwards?
I think I faced personally a lot of internal pressure. I felt very much to blame for what had happened to me, and that's a very common thing among a lot of the survivors that I've worked with, is a deep sense of self-blame that requires good friendship support and good advocate support to really overcome, so that you want to report and you want to move forward to seek justice.
Well, what's your reaction to hearing the school's president promise they'll fix the problem? Wendy?
Oh, well, I wish I could say terrific news, and we're so happy things will change now at UVA. But let's just say when the president speaks out only after there's a scandalous expose in a national magazine, those words ring hollow. And I've had cases at UVA, many cases over the years. They've been terrible for a very long time. And they've known of the problem there at very high levels, including this president, and have done nothing. And if the only reason you change is because somebody exposed you, I don't have a lot of faith in your commitment. You know, UVA is currently under federal investigation in a case of mine by the Office for Civil Rights at the Department of Health and Human Services. They're also under a broad investigative review by the Federal Department of Education. They're implicated in a federal lawsuit of mine in D.C. Federal District Court. They're in a lot of hot water because they have systematically disrespected and disregarded violence against women on campus for a very long time.
So what exactly, Wendy, are you saying that UVA did wrong here?
Well, they've done a lot of things wrong, and in my federal investigations that I'm handling against them, I make a lot of allegations, and folks can learn more about them at campusaccountability.org if you're interested in more of the details. But among other things, the nurse there, the forensic nurse who does a lot of the sexual assault exams, Catherine Lawn, she took photographs of my client's genital injuries from a rape after she was drugged and brutally attacked by a guy who had reportedly done it before. She took all these photographs, and then the photographs disappeared. Isn't that interesting? And then she prepared a report for the hearing board that said there were no injuries consistent with assault. That's the kind of atmosphere they're breeding at UVA. Not only are women not supposed to come forward, but the ones that do come forward are facing this kind of fraudulent kangaroo court system. No wonder no one at UVA has ever been expelled for rape. How is that possible? Shame on them.
Let me go to you, Emily. I want to show you a troubling statistic from the University of Virginia. Since 1998, 183 students have been expelled for honor code violations like cheating on exams. Since the school was founded in 1819, 0 students have been expelled for sexual assault. I mean, Emily, what? This number is staggering. I mean, is something wrong with how the university addresses sexual assaults?
I want to back up and address maybe a point that's a little bit implicit in some of the things that we're saying. One, that, you know, kind of victim autonomy is extremely important. I want to emphasize that the only reason I am alive and well today and succeeding as a student and as an adult, it really is dependent on the fact that I had administrators and advocates at that school who respected my decision-making process and respected my healing process. And that's clinical best practice in advocacy and trauma recovery. And so I think it's a little bit more complex. And the statistician in me says, yes, we have expelled quite a few people for honor, and we could stand to be more punitive when it comes to sexual assault. And I think now that movement will be made. But it is a little bit of an odd comparison, considering that sexual assault adjudication started much later than honor did. And frankly, we've had to build a culture of reporting over time. And part of the reason that the culture of reporting has been bad is because people like Jackie's friends discourage her in the first place. And that prevents her from really seeking justice in any meaningful way.
Wendy, what's the way forward?
Well, look, we can't be blaming victims and their friends. We have to blame these institutions. They are responsible, mandated by federal civil rights laws to respond to violence against women as a civil rights issue. It has always been a civil rights issue since Title IX was enacted in 1972. And until schools step up and declare on campus that violence against women is the same kind of harm as violence against any person, whether it's based on race, ethnicity, religion, or any other category, women have been unequal for too long. Education is too important. Women deserve protection for autonomy, equality, and safety, and it's about time.
All right, I'm going to have to leave it there. Emily Renda and Wendy Murphy, thank you both for your time this